All right, thanks for joining me, everybody. This podcast, I'm gonna talk about things that I feel that caused the world to become the crazy place that it is now. The title of it is "What Happened to the World." Now, before I start, I just want to say these are strictly my opinions. Yes, I'm gonna speak some facts on why I feel the way I do, but they are just my opinions. And if you feel a different way and can rationally express your views, you can leave a message and I'll address it on the next show. As a matter of fact, if you want, you can come on the podcast so we can discuss our different views. Now, I'm going to start with this. I think it's funny that we live in a world where it seems everybody gets to say or do whatever they want. However, don't take the time to realize if you're able to do what you want, doesn't that give other people the right to do what they want? And there is where the main problem lies. Me and my wife used to have this conversation all the time. What I've come to realize is that a lot of it is our fault. That's right, parents, it's our fault. There was an episode on The Fresh Prince when Aunt Viv, the dark skinned one, told Uncle Phil, we try so hard to give our kids the things that we didn't have that we tend to neglect giving them the things that we did have. You know, things like hard work ethic, going out and getting things on your own, respect, trust, honesty. I mean, the list goes on and on. But think about that. How much stuff did or do you buy your kids as they're growing up that you know you had no business buying for that child and you did it anyway? Why? So people can say your kid is fly and all that? But what is that really worth? As I always say, there's a good and bad to everything. And the bad thing about that is that at an early age, without even knowing it, we're teaching our kids that material things mean everything. Then you want to get mad when Junior is like 10 years old and wants a pair of $300 sneakers. We allow the outside world's perception to dictate how we raise our kids. Now, I'm not looking down on anybody because I'm guilty of this myself. But like I always tell my kids, just because I did something doesn't make it right. I've learned that you must first be critical of yourself before you can be critical of others. The thing about it is, we're all human and we all make mistakes. The difference is some of us refuse to acknowledge and learn from those mistakes and continue to do them over and over and over again. It's funny how everybody talks about how grown they are and have their own things. Let me ask you, what thing is it that you really own? You have a job? That's not ownership. If your company downsized at noon today, you could lose that job just like that. As a matter of fact, I have a close friend that this just happened to. You have your own house? Really? If you're making payments like mortgage, rent, you don't own that house. Again, let your company downsize and you lose your job, the house will be sure to follow. The only ownership most people have is a vehicle. And in a lot of cases, people are paying on them as well. Now you've got to ask yourself, why is this happening? Because we've grown up in a broken system and they don't care. I'll get to who they are in a few. I'm 44 and graduated high school in 95. And the system was severely flawed back then. And it's only gotten worse. Then the boot, they're telling you how to raise and discipline your kids. Do you know that they've had assemblies in schools basically telling kids they don't have to listen to their parents? Now, of course, they didn't say it in those exact words, but that's the gist of it. Then they have the audacity to want to call the parents up when the child is acting up in school. I've actually told a teacher not to call me with that bullshit. Y'all told them they don't have to listen to me. So what is it that you want me to do? Now, of course, I talked to my child when they got home. We resolved the issue, but that shit is crazy. And then you add the fact that we materialize our kids basically from birth, and you get to where we are now. People thinking they're entitled. Again, I've made a lot of these mistakes because my kids feel that they're entitled to a lot of stuff, but they also realize and know that they have to earn what they get from me. Now, it breaks my heart when they want something and I'm not able to provide it. At the same time, however, when I'm able to, I always ask them, how bad you want it? I've always told my kids, I will go up to half with you. Not pay for, not do half, but up to half. I let them know if they want something, they have to go out and get it. But I also realize everybody needs help sometimes. But people take advantage of help and think a lot of times it means do. And that's where another problem lies. We all know how crazy this world is. And this may sound crazy too. But start telling your kids no. Get them used to being rejected. It's an integral part of life. You yourself have been told no plenty of times. And what did you do? You found a way. You know why? It's been happening to you for the majority of your life. You've learned to adapt and deal with it over the years, right? So why do we deprive our children of that same strength? Why do we tend to cater to their every want immediately? You know damn well when that child is out in the world that the world can be a cruel, hard place. So why not arm them with the necessary armor they need to navigate through it? Yes, this means telling them no. Could you imagine the first time you ever faced adversity was the first time you left your parents' house? Oh, hell nah. I couldn't wait to get out of my mom's house so I could do my own thing. You know why? Because I wasn't coddled. I wasn't babied. I was told no all the time and had to do for myself a lot. So why would I stay under a roof when I have to do most things by myself, but yet I have no say in the decisions made in that house? That means it's time to get up out of that house. I know how crazy the world could be because I experienced a lot of craziness and stuff like that at home at an early age. Why do you think these kids is like 25, 30 years old still living at home? Because it's easier. They don't have to take much responsibility for things. They don't have to pay for much, which is causing a lack of responsibility. Because you know, when you have to pay for something, you take care of it a lot better than you do if it was given to you. Now, again, I'm not saying throw your child out at a particular age or anything like that, but you have to make them want to leave and do their own thing. And the way to do that is stop catering to everything. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm pretty strict with my kids. And sometimes I'll create adversity for them just to see how they handle it. Coming back to like asking for money and I'll have it, but won't just give it to them. I know that if they can deal with me and how I do things, there's not a motherfucker on this planet that can bother them. The thing that does bother me is because it's like, damn, when the fuck did everybody become so damn sensitive? You got cancel culture running rampant right now. It's like nobody can say anything without somebody else being offended. But aren't those people doing the same thing they're complaining about? And you could pick any group you want to. And this will relate, I promise. And so just know, I'm not coming at anybody or any group or anything like that in particular. Let me explain. You have a group of people that feel like they're being discriminated against, and they speak out against it, which is cool. But the first thing they say is the other point of view needs to be changed. Why is that? Don't you have the right to feel how you feel? So why can't an opposing party continue to feel how they feel? Understand, by demanding change, you aren't in fact creating the same issue. It's just from another perspective. Now, before y'all go crazy or whatever, listen, violence is never the answer or the way to solve any type of conflict. Just because you could win a conflict with force or violence, it doesn't give your stance more or your view more validity. It just means you can beat somebody's ass or whatever. But if you want people to accept you for who you are, then in turn, you have to accept them for who they are. Where a lot of things get messed up and twisted is when that person that has an opposing view is close to you like a friend or a family member. Honestly, though, that's on you. If the love is there and it's genuine, the conflict will be resolved peacefully. But we're taught not to do that. We're taught it's either my way or the highway. So if you put that ultimatum out there, why get upset when someone gives it back to you? Then you got this whole everybody gets a trophy thing in sports. As an athlete, that is the absolute worst thing to ever happen. Again, it's trying to cater to everyone. Sorry, everyone doesn't deserve a trophy. Everybody doesn't win all the time. That's just a part of life. And I know the saying. It's not if you win or lose, as long as you have fun. I get that. But let me ask you this. When the fuck have you ever lost something and was like, damn, I want to go through that again? That was fun. Even at an early age. Now, granted, our Pop Warner teams didn't lose many games, but we did occasionally lose, you know? It was never fun. I can never recall it being fun. Everybody can't play sports, and that's cool. Just like everybody can't be rocket scientists or everybody can't be president, that's cool. But what we're doing is giving these kids false hope that they belong in a situation that they don't. Now, when they get to high school and realize that they're really not that good, their whole world is crushed and you can't understand why they're acting out. It's because they came to the rough realization that they weren't good enough. At least they wasn't as good as they thought they were, and they've been lied to for however long. We all know that classification about that someone. We all know that someone that peaked early, right? In high school, they were the shit. Popular, athletic, whatever. It seemed like whatever they did, they got away with. Nobody ever told them no. Whenever they wanted something, they got it. I'm willing to bet that 95% of those people are struggling at an older age. There's levels to this shit called life. And at some point or another, everybody goes through adversity. Now, it seems that some people go through it way more than others. And that may be true, but we all go through it. I'd rather my kids learn this and deal with this while they're growing up as teenagers and stuff than into their 20s. Yo, I really used to tell them, I really don't give a fuck how you feel about me as a teenager, because I know the things I'm teaching you now. In your 20s, you're going to look back one day and be like, damn, that's what this nigga was talking about. Again, folks, these is just my opinions, Now, earlier, I said they. And the they I'm talking about is society. And who unfortunately controls society? The government. But is it entirely their fault? Yes, they have a huge hand in on it. But still, we make our own decisions, right? Everybody running around like they run shit. But when the government gets involved, it's like, oh shit, let me chill, let me straighten up. Again, I'm not trying to say go break the law or anything like that. But where do you draw the line from your life and the life the government allows you to live? In my opinion, and I read it in a book one time, the only purpose of the government should be to protect the people from initiatory force, which basically means if you mind your business, you're going to be good. A big reason why that would never happen is because that would do away with taxes and all this other bullshit that the government's created throughout the years to keep a stranglehold on things. Getting rid of initiatory force, that would get rid of the rule of man. Think about it. Taxes would have to go away. Taxes are enforced by the government, by man. Only thing the government should do is protect you from initiatory force. It's a crazy concept to understand when you first hear it, but think about it for a minute. It actually makes a lot of sense. What is the book? Unlike the Scottie Pippen book, this book is long, If I can remember it, I'll mention it. I don't want to mess the name up or anything, but I know it's somewhere in the house. I'll try to get to that, but I've digressed. The world is changing, and it will be better. The only thing is it's going to get worse before it gets better. So please, please tell the people you love that you love them every day. If you're beefing about something, man, let that shit go. There is nothing more important than the people you truly love. And just as important, that truly love you. Don't forget that part. Blood doesn't make you family. Actions do. So pay close attention to the actions of those around you. Just continue to spread love and it will be returned to you tenfold. The thing about it is more times than not, the love you receive is not going to come from the source that you're giving it to. And that's okay. That's one of the things that's helped me get through all of this with Trey, is we told each other every day how much we loved each other. On that note, guys, I'm going to get going. I've been real busy lately, creating the course and trying to get back in the swing of things with the podcast. But I really hope you enjoyed this one. As always, leave a message if you want to be heard on the next show or even be a guest. Guys, I appreciate you spending this time with me. And until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.